This segment of CoastLife is sponsored by the Spice and Tea Exchange of Rehoboth.
Well, it is our first Spill the Tea of 2026. I'm pretty excited about this one because this one I'm sure is going to be pretty relatable to anybody who lives with a backseat driver. This could be...
That doesn't even do justice to what's about to happen. We're going to get to it, but there's a lot of moving parts in this.
There are a lot of moving parts. We will get into it. For now, though, we got to learn what tea we are spilling from our friends at the Spice and Tea Exchange on Rehoboth Avenue in Rehoboth Beach. Charlie, what do we got?
It is your white tropical white tea. One sip of this refreshing tea will transport you to a tropical oasis. Chinese white tea combined with luscious chunks of pineapple and peach pieces will help you escape to a relaxing paradise.
Ooh, love the sound of that. Well, why don't you get to spillin', and I too will get to spillin'. Was I wrong for making my wife ride in the back seat because she couldn't stop distracting me?
Uh-oh.
This happened over the holidays, and my wife is still upset with me over it. Our family went to visit my in-laws for New Year's. It's about a 3 to 4 hour drive. My wife, 37 years old, gets nervous about driving in traffic, so I always drive when we visit her family. She also tends to get car sick on longer drives, so she needs to sit in the front seat to help ease that. I love my wife with all my heart, but she is not good at sitting shotgun. She makes huge reactions to any change in traffic, grabbing the handle, putting her hand on the dash, gasping, telling me to watch out, you name it. It's not like I'm an aggressive or risky driver. I've never even gotten a speeding ticket or been in an accident. I've talked to her multiple times about how her reactions actually make it more difficult for me to concentrate on driving, but she says she can't control herself because she's nervous in traffic. The entire drive, my wife was on edge, making all the reactions I mentioned. It's very distracting to have someone next to you doing that sort of thing while driving. I mentioned this to my wife numerous times on the drive, and she always deflected blame at me for saying it was the way I was driving. When we were ready to head home, I told my wife that she needs to sit in the back and our 14-year-old son will sit up front with me. I told her it's either that or she drives us home. She got upset with me and started giving excuses about her car sickness. I told her to take some NyQuil or something else to help her sleep, but she refused and told me that I'm being a jerk. Eventually, she did reluctantly get in the back seat with our 11-year-old daughter. The ride home was much easier traffic-wise, and my wife sat pretty much silent in the back seat. She said I humiliated her by making her sit in the back and that I should be more considerate of her feelings. So, was I wrong? I know that was a long one, but I feel like there was a lot that we needed to cover there.
First things at the beginning, she didn't sit silently in the back. She sat seething,
pouted.
seething in the back, rage building up.
Yeah, this is tricky though.
It's a little tricky here because it does sound like she's a bit out of hand when she's in that front seat, and that can be distracting and that can be problematic if you are the one driving. However, I do not have the temerity or the will or the whatever it might take, the chutzpah, to be like, hun, I'm going to need you in the back seat.
I think it's a little easier because they have 2 kids and you can sit in the back with one of the kids and it's not just entirely like you got to get in the back. But this is also hard because it does feel like he has communicated to her, at least from his side of the story, he says he has clearly communicated to her that he does not like this and that I get it too, that she's saying, well, I can't control how I react. I disagree because there are many times when I'm in the passenger seat and I want to point out a cool bird that I see, but I know that like a quick motion and a gasp is going to drive us off the road if I'm like, and he'd be like, what? And I'm like, there's bald eagle. But yeah, so I'm like, you can control it a little bit. You just have to, for a second. So
Yeah, if it's that, if it's that much, maybe you got to talk to your therapist or whoever, and get like something that's going to help you be calm in the seat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it seemed, especially for like, I'm not talking about like driving down the street, but for some long
long trip.
Like Xanax or something. Like because it seems like she just gets really, really nervous.
Yeah.
And so she's having a hard time controlling herself. But you also do have to have respect for the person in the driver's seat, who's again trying not to drive off the road. It does sound like this is something that it's happened a number of times, and now he's at his wit's end. I get that, but it's a tough look to be like, hun, back of the bus.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely should apologize. I'm sorry that I got so frustrated that I asked you to sit in the back seat, But like moving forward, how do we work this out? Because it was easier for me to make the drive.
It was a much easier drive, and I felt like we were going to live.
I think he's got to apologize, and I think they might need a part 2 conversation after this, but I don't think he's necessarily wrong to ask her to do something about this reaction.
It's not wrong to ask her to do something about it. Can't go so far as to be...
Especially after the holidays, though. Like, I can't say I wouldn't also be like, you know what, get in the backseat.
I'm sure, there's probably some other stress involved in there somewhere.
Right. Like, I think this could have been a culmination of several stressors that added all right up into that one moment of get in the back. But yeah, this is a rough one. But it's never rough when you're drinking tea from our friends at the Spice and Tea Exchange. Let's give this the tropical white tea a try.
I like the tropical teas. I like the ones that have
like that
a pineapple or a peach, which this has both. That's right up my alley.
I was already serving this up to some of our coworkers because CoastLife has also been the sick wing lately. So
you've seen the movie Contagion or Outbreak. That's really...
So we were trying to soothe some illness here, and the tea did the trick, all right? So get yourself some tea or any of the other accessories that they have at the Spice and Tea Exchange on Rehoboth Avenue in Rehoboth Beach. But we do have some more CoastLife coming up. It's all headed your way.